Garner looks like a
I
box.
heard a drum again. We did see.
He just
Joe
ran
Moss
out of the
earlier
fountain
today.
looking like a square.
And, I would assume.
I just put 2 and 2 together, Valdez.
Yeah, I think that might be him.
Pretty good chance. He's now our official.
I didn't see him with a drum.
So
He wasn't-
we do see, was it, the Nami did go put a ward in that bottom bush, not in the center. Does anyone know why it's not the center? I honestly don't know why. I'm just asking. Do we know why it's not the center bush? Why it's their first bush?
So
I think
because
she
she wasn't
plays
gonna
it.
face check.
Yeah, she's
She was
playing
by
safe.
herself.
Okay.
with it, but doesn't necessarily mean it wasn't just being held for him. He is
True.
He is based CEO of T1.
True.
So he's got somebody to carry his drum
Doesn't
for him.
necessarily carry that drum himself.
Yeah, why would he carry that?
Until he plays the drum.
Yeah, which
Then he
case-
has to hold it.
Well, or rest it on his lap or something like that.
Maybe someone else should hold it for him.
So let's talk about these comps a little bit more in depth here, because for T1 they have both power.
All right, so
in the
that
game with
ward
this
is playing, is
Twisted
given,
Fate
is
Nocturne,
playing,
with the ults
giving
they
his
have,
due,
they can
paying
dive
his
the
due.
backline, they can punish Ruler. But they also have to be careful because, as you mentioned, they don't have a traditional front line. Ruler is going to have that Gale Force power spike in the mid game where he can assassinate basically anybody on the side of T1. With the exception of the Gwen and
I assume Silas put this ward here. Yeah, he did.
the Nocturne.
He
and
did
everyone else
the
is
he did
pretty
Joey's little
vulnerable, in
late
fact.
ward thing.
And as a result, some of your big strengths here normally with Twisted Fate and Nocturne in the mid game aren't really as powerful this time around, because you have to be careful, of course, of ulting as owner into a Skarner, who then grab you and actually then assassinate you. I think the game is going to kind of be shifted in terms of its power towards the later parts, where the Nocturne and Twisted Fate will be so good against the Lucian in the late game that's really where we're putting our focus on these two champions later on. Whereas traditionally, it's more of a mid-game situation.
Yeah. Well, we're just taking a look at some of the champion stats here. Gen G, not a single pick that they have chosen for this game has sustained a loss yet in this season. Again, I think they only have one loss on the season. That was to T1, so kind of makes sense. Beside of T1, I believe I saw 2 first picks for this season. Kind of funny that Faker only picking up the TF now, but it hasn't necessarily been meta, as Lucian Nami actually on a bit of a losing streak. That's coming off of the back of yesterday, where we did see heavy committal to the Lucian Nami by Damwon Kia, who did suffer 2 losses to KT.
Yeah, notice that Gen G wasn't on that list.
Yeah, they're not going to be on that list.
These two teams are in a tier so far above the rest of the LCK. Because right now, Damwon Kia is in 3rd place, but Live Sandbox is knocking on the door, right? But there's like an invisible layer of 5 teams between T1 and Damwon Kia. That's like how ahead they are right now. So we're putting up like DRX's stats right now over here. I'm like, well, how relevant is that?
So I'm going to pause here just so that whenever Cortland sees this, obviously we're not really going to pay attention to what champion the jungler is playing, but the fact that who's the owner skipped his Krugs because he noticed that Skarner was starting topside, just like him, and he actually got he actually invaded, got a ward down to see where Skarner's going to go afterwards. Took the crab. This is really important, especially for us to understand whether we're red side or blue side. Skipping a camp's not that big of a deal, especially now since Scuttle doesn't spawn until 3:30. But getting vision down, knowing that the enemy jungler is going to be boss side, is really key to prevent any kind of gank coming down. So just food for thought.
Really, at this moment in time, with these two teams being so much stronger.
Yeah, it's very true. Nobody really compares to these two teams right now, as Guma's trying to get the trade back, but it was a relatively nice trade there by Ruler and Lehens onto Keria. Peanut here, level 4, looking for a bit of a play onto Faker, who does have the gold card. Will use that onto the Skarner. And Sylvia was being pushed in a bit here by the range, of course, of the TF. And now I suppose as good a time as any to show that TF is currently 13-2. up on Silas.
I feel like it's kind of funny that the timing of these stats have come up at such awkward moments, like when Ruler had an insanely good trade right after they showed that the Lucian Nami is on a losing streak. Okay, Zeus.
Yep, they do know that Peanut is heading up to the top side, so Zeus just easily backs away. He's not baited into this fight, actually takes a much better trade at the end of the day. Speaking of stats, Doran has only lost once on Akali.
Yeah, he's only played 10 games of it, which I know kind of sounds like a lot when you're thinking about this meta, but...
Okay, Zeus has Ignite, so Doran really got to play it a bit safe here.
The early game, obviously, for Gwen Akali is a trading game for the Gwen, where you try to get the health to a nice spot, so when you hit your level 6, you can still continue to duel against the Akali. It might even be able to all-in with your range advantage. It's much more complicated to play it out as the Akali when 6 is hit. Once a few items come through here for Doran, it's going to be very difficult, actually, for the Gwen to be able to actually compete, because she could just go Shrouded, continue to use her shurikens, and start doing a trading pattern that's very difficult for Zeus to counter. So at the early parts, well played here from Zeus so far. We'll actually take an early teleport and continue to try to further that lead on the top side and force Doran to back here and lose minions while he teleports.
4 minions.
Really well played from Zeus so far in terms of that laning. Comes back with a Doran's ring, refillable, extra health. Just wanting to further this lead as long as possible in the early parts of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the player matchup, as we already mentioned, I think Zeus is going to be pretty comfortable. Even though Doran is quite the strong player, Zeus is Zeus after all. This bottom lane is very interesting. You know, coming into this series, there is a lot of information that
So
both
much
teams
more
have on each
relaxing
other,
than the
and I'm
fight.
sure that T1 have been preparing a lot for Lucian because Ruler and Lehens, they get their hands on
Wait
this
your turn,
very
Lucian.
often,
You'll
and
get
they look
used to
incredibly dominant, very confident. So you can prepare something into this, and the preparation ended up with Aphelios Lulu, which on paper I was like, you know, it can trade decently, but
You know, I
so
didn't
far
notice
it's
this
actually
earlier,
been-
but both junglers actually, because Dragon was spawning, they stayed out on the map after their first cleared their top side, backed, so that they have as much gold as possible for this possible fight that's going to be going down here, or if there's a fight at the Dragon Pit. Both junglers did it, which is actually kind of cool. I didn't notice that earlier. Instead of just doing a complete full second clear, they just did half a clear. That way they're down here for this Dragon.
It's been pretty nice in the 2v2.
The 2v2 is really nice because the good thing about this for T1 is that, okay, Keria is going to get hit by an Aqua Prison as owner shows up. Always wary about
You mean
going
they
on a
full
long
cleared,
color
then
point
they
in the game.
then they reset, then they did their top side, then they reset.
No,
What was
they did the full clear. They did not reset. They went back
they
to the
just
top
went up?
side, cleared top, and then they did their first reset.
Like this, we're reaching breaking points here. Level 6s are getting
Especially, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it gold-wise, it makes sense because first clear plus scuttle, you have maybe 900 gold. So doing an extra set of camps will get you that 1200 mark for or this is 1100 for a whip, but I don't know. Skarner didn't get the top scuttle, so he was down on that one. So he wasn't able to get his bombies. But he did get the boots for Predator. But yeah, it's actually pretty smart, to be honest. I didn't think about that. I never thought about that.
hit. But
have some time.
the Lulu can just continually glitter lance, and obviously Aphelios isn't able to do the same amount of damage as Lucian does with his passive, but with Calibrum he can trade pretty aggressively, and Nami is not really going to be able to get chances to proc Electrocute in this matchup very well. And if you overextend and get Gravidomed, you can just die. You won't actually win the all-in, especially with Lehens running Ignite here. They're heal-less in this lane, so with heal for Gumiusi, it's really hard for Ruler and
You mean
Lehens.
exhaust, right?
Yeah, sorry, he took exhaust instead of a heal, right? He's
Yeah.
heal-less.
Oh, okay.
Is what I said, but yeah, I know that kind of came
You did
out.
say Ignite, though, so I was like, whoa,
Yeah, so
I'm missing something.
he's heal-less. There's no Ignite also. Like, it's a heal-less lane, and they don't have Ignite. It's like Ruler didn't take heal, Lens didn't take heal instead, so they have neither heal nor Ignite. That is what I am getting at here. Gumiusi and Keria have both, however, so you can't all in. And so if you just kind of play it slow as T1 and slowly, forcefully push that lane forward, use the power of the Glitter Lance and keep trading, it's
So
hard.
one thing I just saw, I don't know if you do a Squan. If you do, good on you. But I just noticed that when Nami was coming back, she actually put this ward right here. I'm pretty sure it's not only specifically because it's a TF and he has to get close to bot lane if he wants to ult down there, but just for a mid roam in general. I assume TF has a better push than Silas.
Yeah.
So
They both suck,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So where that ward is on TF side, that bush, just above the dragon, that's how close TF has to be to ult bot.
Mm.
So as long as you can see that part, you can see if he's going.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
usually
yeah.
what I do is I check with Dallas. If he's just pinned to his tower, can't play the game, I put it defensively. If he's the aggressor and he has prio, I usually will try to go for the pixel.
Yeah, because I assume the Lucian Nami knows that they're going to be pushed under. So right here, he'd be. I guess I don't know how far the TF would be able to ult to.
TF can ult just past buffs right now.
Okay. So yeah,
That's why I take.
He can go to Nocturne.
Yeah.
Okay, so he would have to be either right here in the tri-bush or down here in the river.
No, he just has to go to where those wards are, literally.
Yeah.
If he goes to that pixel, he can ult bot.
Yeah. So it makes sense why that ward's there then. What other wards do we see? Now see, this ward I don't understand, this pink one right here, because it's not in the bush and it's against this wall.
So it shows the entrance and they can't take it.
So just over that fat wall from Twisted Fate's side, mid laners usually ward over that wall. Like it's super He did it on the top side this time by Skarner, but it's the same thing. They ward over that fat wall all the time.
A lot of mid laners will place their ward in the middle, but like towards their opponents in the middle of the lane, right? To see where they walk. But if you do that, they'll just take it, or they'll walk backwards and then like around the ward, so you don't know. But if you put it in the against where that pink ward is, like somewhere along there where he doesn't see you place it, then you still see where he goes.
I see. So Silas can actually, since that pink there, Silas can actually just walk back and walk under, even if there's a ward there. Okay, cool. Okay, see, we're all learning something here.
Hard for Ruler and Lehens to actually have a whole lot of power, while their jungler is basically a wet sack before 6 as well. You know, like Skarner, he doesn't do a whole lot. You got a flash out of
That's an interesting
Faker.
way to put it, but yes,
At least
I do
Skarner
agree with
alone
you.
is
I mean,
fucked.
you ever seen Skarner run at somebody pre-6 and like
Oh, Ruler gonna phase check that one. Insta cleanse on the polymorph. Has to flash too. Faker's in the bottom lane, and I think Lehens is just dead meat. Down he does go, and first blood comes in as Chovy is just going to Destiny into mid. That he did steal, but excellently set up here by T1's bottom lane.
Yeah, so getting a kill this
All
early
right,
onto the FL.
we'll look at that real quick.
Push that lane forward, use the power of the
So,
lance and keep trading.
Guma and Keria set up I don't know if they set it up really well or if Ruler's just not thinking.
No, they either, if bot lane doesn't shove this, they give up dragon right now. Genji.
Yeah, okay.
So
power.
basically, Guma's threatening a recall. Guma's going to recall and be way bigger than Ruler if Ruler tries to freeze. And then that means Blue gets dragon for the most part. But if... so they actually just fake it, though, because they know that Genji has to push out until he has to 6. Genji has to push out or freeze. They're going to do one or the other. If they freeze, they lose the dragon. And they're going to keep losing a lead. But if they push out, they reset their lane, they can back and actually not lose anything and still be strong for the dragon fight that's probably going to happen soon. And T1 just punishes that. They have to push this lane, so walking up to die right there is unfortunately necessary.
Okay.
The only way to get out of this scenario is if a third party came and fixed the wave.
They pretty much have to call T1's bluff.
Okay.
While their jungler is basically a wet sack before 6 as well. You know, like Skarner, he doesn't do a whole lot. You got a flash out of Faker.
The one thing they could have maybe tried to do is if they thin this, if they thin this and left it, they have to go to the next wave. If they thin this wave and just left 3 minions and reset and try to let it sit at a freeze, they could potentially escape the situation. That I think that is the best bet, but that's probably hard to see in hindsight. So,
yeah,
or I mean, hard to see during the game.
with you.
Oh, I mean, have you ever seen Skarner run at somebody pre-6 and like press Q?
Oh, Ruler gonna face check that one.
Okay, so yeah, so TF was
Wait,
actually
you
right
can
here.
You can cleanse poly. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was trying to look at where TF was when he ulted. So right above red buff, right in that bush, and he was actually able to get right here. Okay.
Needs to cleanse on the polymorph,
rank
has to
or,
flash two Fakers in
max-
the
what do
bottom
you
lane,
max
and
on
I think
the
Lands is just
first and
deadbeat.
You
Down he
can
does
go
go.
W or E.
what is a pro player gonna max?
Depends on their ADC, but
Yeah.
usually E, I'd say. Usually.
So you're
Well-
saying in this game she should be
So-
maxing E then what?
It can still go both ways.
She could go either way.
It
Which
really
one's
just
poly?
so like if it's a Kog'Maw and we're trying to all in, I'm gonna max W.
Which one's polymorph?
W.
So it's second. It's first or second.
Yeah, always. They're like really even.
You put 1 point in Q and never again.
Maxing poly increases how long you're polyed, right?
Yes, or the attack speed duration. It's an attack speed steroid. If I use it on.
I was trying
ally.
to. I didn't know cleanse actually worked on poly.
First blood comes in as Chovy is just going to Destiny into mid that he did steal, but excellently set up here by T1's bottom lane.
Yeah, so getting a kill this early onto the Aphelios feels amazing for T1's composition. And unfortunately for Ruler, he's now going to be zoned away from some CS significantly without the Nami there, who didn't have 6, by the way, for even Peel. Faker can stay here. He can force a bigger rotation. Owner has ultimate now, and it's just a 4-man
like
bottom side, basically. I mean, there's
I'm just trying
nothing you
to
can do as Ruler
so
hands you
harass
this
and we're not,
situation.
like,
You're going to
actually
lose so much
fighting.
farm.
It's just
typically
crazy.
it's gonna
I
max it.
mean, how do T1 are doing to Gen G what Gen G have done to every other team in the
Fuck the
LCK?
damage, bigger shield.
They come in here and they're like, no, like we got you figured out. I don't know how this keeps happening. Again, it's still very early on in game number 1.
Once you've got like
still a really
3 or 4 points in W,
lead here.
it does a lot of attacks.
Early on in game number 1. So
Only really
Now,
polying
Arrow, of
assassins.
course, did go over to
So,
Peanut, so Gen G will
because that fight happened, Lucian Nami got an earlier reset than the Aphelios Lulu, which means that that Gen G now actually has Dragon Prio. Am I reading that correct?
Yeah, they have control right
Yeah,
now.
they got their spent got there first, I guess.
If they don't finish before Phelios gets there, though, he just runs them.
pick that one up, but it's
They
very
have to
difficult
finish
at
the
this moment in
dragon.
time to utilize that
They most
power.
likely
At least
won't be able to
Gen G
do
with
it,
the
though.
back timing from
Yeah,
Suzuki
this is
will,
their only window to do it.
you know, stave off some of that CS lead bottom side.
There's no way to
It's
fight Gale
resetting.
Force.
All right, then they're not even going to
It's
try.
not going to be a Mountain Soul. We know that one already. We'll see what it ends up being. But before level 6 for Skarner, it's just really difficult. And Skarner, you know, Peanut just came and caught some of those minions in mid. As Kyria is going to check this one out. We'll see this, of course. Let's go back to the successful kills here. No vision. Ruler just walks up to this. And it's, you know, a lot of
Ruler
teams
pushed
don't
this
actually
out
do this with
because
no
they wanted
vision.
the dragon.
Ruler just gets
It was
completely
pretty
caught.
clear that
It's a
Red did
terrible
want it.
trade for him if Faker is not here, but because Faker is here, Lulu dies. And now he loses a ton of CS, is zoned away from his turret.
Yeah, the Nami is going to be punished.
Sorry, Nami, yes.
Down there in the bottom side. And you could see that Ruler was like, oh, they could be in this brush.
You shit on Joe.
Because he put that, he like tentatively put that ward into the brush, like very slowly. He puts it on the edge, it like doesn't even really get into
All right,
that
so I do want to
Like-
pause and take a look at the wards that Gen G has set up. Very, very defensive wards. You see, what, 4 pinks on the map? One in this bush, next to bot lane. One right here at the entrance to blue, river, and then the entrance to red. So, I mean, the only way that anything can happen, obviously this is something that the T1 or enemy blue would not know, is the only way to get to them is by going through around the long way through their red. So it's really, really good setup, ward setup. I assume that this one's probably Silas's, this one's Skarner's, and then this is the bot lanes. So very good defensive warding. Especially because it is a Nocturne TF that will turn the lights off and ult stun you. So Now, actually, I think these are placed correctly because they can't really put them out in river because it's just going to get clear because they don't have access to the river. They can't really push in there, especially because Aphelios is ahead so much, a whole freaking item.
Gen.G doesn't want to be too far away from their towers because of the globals.
Yeah,
So they're probably, and they want to scale, so they're playing defensive.
yeah, but like I said, with these two ultimates, I don't think yeah, these wards are good, but I don't think they're helpful for semi global ultimates.
No, I'm saying that like that's as far as they can ward.
Yeah,
Or that's as far
that's
as
what
they want to ward.
yeah, that's what I was getting at is that they can't do river, they
Yeah.
can't. So now I just wanted to point it out, just make sense of it, just in case anyone else secretly wanted to make sense of it as well.
Why even take the risk, especially with the TF on the board and it's Faker, right? Like the response from him was instant. He was bought the second that fight was breaking out. If you've ever seen that guy Micro, he is basically looking at all three lanes at the same time while CSing. So, you know, if there's a guy you want playing TF, it's probably him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been a very nice start here for T1. The Lucian Nami has been totally just
Could you imagine, Dan, just spending 10
irrelevant
minutes
so
just
far.
focusing on farming?
And as we've talked
Silly.
about a lot in the first series, nice trade here for Ruler. Courier going to eat a ton of damage. Here comes Skarner.
And Guma does have Flash and Gale Force already. As now the teleport is coming in and the paranoia is enough to get this down. And Ruler's just going to be sniped from so far away. As Guma just going to collect easily another kill.
And this time it's on to Ruler, so this time he can't stay and try to shore up farm and try to continue to get experience. This time he is just out of the lane. And the power of Lulu Nocturne on display here as he instantly gets wild growth after ulting the backline. A massive turn, and T1 can
Okay,
always
so I do want to look at that skirmish. I'm pretty sure I can just recap it with what I
Out
just
of the
saw,
lane.
or from what I remember.
Made irrelevant so far.
And
So they don't see Skarner. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure you can just slip by right here, in the top in the river, and not get seen by Scuttle.
as we've talked about a lot, especially in our first series, nice trade here for Ruler.
So they got the trade in.
Courier
There's no pings yet on Skarner. I assume it's because of how Ruler and Lehen's
aggressive they play.
postured. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Lulu's fucking
Starter.
hauling it.
And Guma does have Flash.
So both ults down right here, which opens up because Nocturne's down here, opens up for this
and
gank.
Gale Force already. As now the teleport
And
is
then,
coming
yeah.
in, and the paranoia is enough to get this down. And Ruler's just going to be sniped from so far away. As Guma just going to collect easily another
Oh,
kill.
that was well
This
played.
time it's on to
Paying
Ruler, so
attention
this
to
time
what's
he can't
burned
stay
and the jungler's down
and
there.
try to shore
I
up
mean, obviously
farm
it's a
and try to
Nocturne. He can
continue
ult
to get
from half the
experience. This
fucking
time
lane
he is
away.
just out of the lane, and the power
But that setup,
of Lulu
not really the
Nocturne
setup,
on
the
display here,
response
he
was
instantly gets
really
wild
nice.
growth after ulting the backline, a massive turn, and T1 can always trade up in terms of members being in a skirmish because they have these two ultimates. We talked about how it might not be that powerful this stage of the game to use those ultimates because of all the counter plays, but when Genji start the play first, then you get to respond with this, and your defensive follow-up ultimates here are so powerful. As Ruler goes for this trade, Peanut's down here, and it looks like, okay.
I'm pretty sure they were
probably make
baiting
work.
this.
Gale Force.
Gale Force, and also, like, he was so far away, he had so much space to dodge the tidal wave. Cleanse gets used here from Ruler, but it's Infernum on that
And it's
Moonlight.
It's Peanut that's too close.
That was
to Ruler
100%
that actually makes the AoE hit,
baited by
Ruler
T1.
to make sure that the kill
They
actually
controlled that
happens.
whole thing
It's
ever
kind
since
of
the beginning,
unfortunate,
even the
yeah,
trade
it
at the
just
beginning.
felt very forced. You know, the Skarner so far has gotten 0 value, and this is so different from what we've seen Peanut do to other teams, where he picks up the Poppy gank spot all the time. Obviously, that's on blue side more.
All right,
often than not, but
so Gen.G went ahead and swapped lanes now. So they did the bot lane to mid lane to bot. Do we know why they did it? Any ideas of why they did it?
Yeah, they did this to alleviate pressure off of Ruler.
putting him in a shorter lane.
Yeah, so he's safer and can't be dope. Otherwise, they're just gonna repeatedly do this to him, or they could even freeze on him and then dive him that way too.
It's
Mm.
To knock
definitely
him.
good on both mid laners too, I think. Both of them would
Twisted
prefer
Fate
to be
wants to
down there.
leave, so he doesn't care if he's leaving mid and going down or leaving bot and
I was
going
gonna
mid.
say, I think it's better for Silas to go down here and drag TF down this way. Because then TF doesn't have access to both lanes like he does in mid
Yeah.
lane.
Yeah, but
That's
mostly
what
it's
matters.
basically just a free ruler up because now that Helios is so far ahead that he basically Lucian's about to get knocked out the game if they stay bot.
Okay. So that
Yeah,
might.
but what happens if they don't like
They can't
reset
freeze
with them?
mid, right?
Yep.
But bot they could freeze and just end the game for Lucian.
Did they both do it at the same time? Did both bot lanes go mid?
No,
Like me?
Twisted Fate's mid and Aphelios was heading bot and started coming up through the jungle.
Yeah, we'll back
Because
up a little
Lucianami
bit.
popped up? Oh yeah, I want to see that part.
He was so far away, he had so much space to dodge the tidal wave. Cleanse gets used here from Ruler, but it's Infernum on that
And it's
Moonlight.
It's Peanut that's too close
Alright,
to
let's
Ruler
see.
that
Oh,
actually
they
makes the
See us
AoE
pushing
F1.
out.
Ruler to make sure that the kill
Yeah, they
actually
showed you.
happens.
Okay, so there's a
Kinda
Lucian.
unfortunate, but
Aphelios
it just
seen.
felt-
Okay, yeah. So they came mid. Yeah, and then Aphelios
So
did the
so yeah, it looks like Nami roamed up with Skarner after leaving down here. No, they had to have roamed up. So yeah, that call was made probably as Lucian died or as he was walking back because he did hit the blast cone over here. Inside the jungle.
What happens if they don't swap? Like, what if their bot, like T1's bot lane just stays bot and takes the tower and or freezes on Silas and makes him useless?
Then Lucian gets to keep farming in the game and bully TF. Every time TF would leave, Lucian would just like farm plates and stuff.
But that's definitely a win for T1.
Yeah, but
So
it's
when-
keeping an 80
it-
carry in the
Well,
the
it becomes
game.
a neutral win because then like both bot lanes are now winning and the mid laners are both getting screwed.
Yeah, but one's Twisted Fate. He doesn't need gold.
You're right, but if he leaves, Lucian gets free gold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so
They're
does
more worried
both bot
about-
lanes get
So-
free gold. Yeah, both bot lanes are getting free gold.
They,
Yeah.
they have
TF doesn't
they
need
have
gold. Silas does. Is what I'm
they
saying.
have an option to make a decision that puts them ahead in gold versus going neutral.
It's not going neutral. Is what I'm saying.
It goes neutral if Genji doesn't follow suit.
You mean T1 because Genji's.
Hey,
Sorry, yeah, you're right. If
Yeah,
T1 doesn't
yeah.
follow suit.
If Aphelios farms and puts Silas behind, Lucian gets to do the same thing, and that's gold on Lucian. They end up getting the same amount. Even Lucian and Aphelios get perfect CS, and Silas and Aphelios get TF get 0. That's neutral.
It's
That
not
doesn't
neutral.
doesn't put your team any further ahead than them. Right?
That is putting your team ahead because Twisted Fate does not need gold. He
Not
doesn't
need-
need any gold.
Yes,
Silas
but
does.
But
Not needing
Genji's
gold.
win condition is ruler. It is not Chovy.
Yeah, I'm not arguing the who needs gold and who doesn't. I'm arguing the actual team gold number goes up evenly together. Whereas if they mirror them and ADCs keep going against ADCs, T1 has a higher gold number than Genji.
Why would Jen's win
Because
count be
Genji
TF
is the
and-
ruler show.
Chovy?
TF and Silas are already going, right? So if they match
Oh.
each other, they stay going even.
That's not Swan. Stop. I'm asking why is Ruler their win con?
And
Because
not
he's their
Silas.
star.
Rulers, Gen's star. Like that's who they
Yeah.
play for.
Yeah.
Well, I don't watch pro play, so I don't know this. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
he's
asking.
the one that's gonna 1v9 if anybody on that team.
very forced. You know, the Skarner so far has gotten
T1 really
0
wants to
value.
not let
This is
Ruler
so
like
different from
any.
what we've
They don't want to
seen
give him
Peanut do
anything.
to other teams where he picks up the poppy, gang spot all
I mean,
the
that
time.
makes more
Obviously,
sense.
he's on
I still
blue side
think
more
it's
often than
more
not.
gold efficient
But
to not
so far, he's
swap.
just had no
Is what I'm saying.
effectiveness in this game. He did get this Rift Herald,
But I
as
mean,
you
I
did
guess if
mention.
you're
Yeah, but everybody is
But
here from T1.
carries
My argument-
Ruler over
Orders are gonna be
Chovy,
used.
then
They might
it's
actually
not.
be able to stop this charge
My argument
Man,
is that
this is
Helios is
just
farming better
insane.
into Lucian,
Stop it now. It
and
does,
even
of
if
course,
TF's
require
behind
that teleport you
Silas, he
mentioned
gets
from
more gold
Zeus,
per minion
so it's
Silas.
not a free stop
So
of the Rift. It does come at the
T1's
cost
gold
of
can
some
only
tempo,
go up
as
if
we're
they
going to have
stay
the lane
back.
swaps
Yeah, I
come
still
through
think
here
it's
to the mid lane
net positive
temporarily. Chovy
in
goes
Like,
bottom
the
side.
keeping the bot lanes
Lehend
together.
is gonna
It's
back
like
here.
even if it's a
And
slight
he
positive,
gets
it's a slight
denied by
positive
the
versus a
Talibrum.
neutral.
The lead that T1 has right
And
now
you
is
also have to remember,
3,000.
slight positives are always good when you're behind. It's like trading a 1-for-1 when you're really far behind. You want to do that. So this is their version of doing that. Like to us, it's what 2-0. To us, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Not okay. Let me not say that. To us, it doesn't look like that big of a gap. But to them, every one gold matters. So, yeah, trading a slight net positive, a very minuscule net positive for an AD carry to stay in the game, is what they prioritize over Silas getting big and trying to 1v9.
I still don't understand how. Either way, I mean, I could be wasting our time. Either whatever lane Aphelios goes into, he's winning, and he's getting all the farm he wants. And either one he goes to,
Yeah, but they're putting TF behind unnecessarily.
that's I. Never
They
mind.
don't need to, right?
Aphelios wants to chase and punish Lucian.
I'm taking. Okay, it is a. All I'm saying is taking gold away from a Silas is more beneficial than taking gold away from a Twisted Fate. So, like per gold, they would be up gold on Genji if they didn't.
Lucian would be out of the game if they didn't do this. I mean, sorry, Lucian. Sorry, Team One wants to chase Lucian to remove him from the game because then they win.
Hey, that's fine. I can agree to that.
I mean, there's I guarantee there's other factors that we're not thinking of that they know of. Obviously, because this is what they plan for, what they practice and stuff. There's something behind it that they see that we don't, which is probably why it's not really making a whole lot of sense to you, Joey.
It's making sense to me, but I'm just like, if you give 5k gold to Guma, Faker, Chovy, and Ruler here, Faker is probably gonna use it the least amount. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can agree. I agree with that.
Like, just because of their champions, he's gonna use it the least.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If he gets the shit end of the stick, they're winning. Is what I was saying.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
If Ruler is their carry or whatever, they play for him. Obviously, you should be just taking everything as much as you can from him, which I understand.
Yeah. No, it's a very interesting macro decision. Very interesting.
At 13 minutes, I have a bad feeling about Genji's averages after this series for round 2. But look, the early game here for Genji is not going to be strong, obviously, when the lane is played out this well from Guma in Keria in the early parts. Obviously, early game Gwen into the Akali, amazing. And Faker gets away with that free Destiny Gate bottom while Chovy is back.
Yeah.
And it's just those tiny things alone that lead to such a massive lead here for T1, but it's an Aphelios into a Lucian. He's already got a Gale Force, used the Gale Force to survive. That's how much of a lead he had. As Peanut will be seen by the board.
Zave's totally fine. Doesn't have flash, so he has made trips up to the top side multiple times, but Zave's has just played it out perfectly both times. Not going to put himself into danger. Is up. He has gotten his back in and his teleport back in the lane. Does have his item before Doran does. And yeah, I think, you said it with the Skarner, but also with the Nocturne. Both of these junglers, they want to farm to level 6. So what happens is they do not have a part in the bottom lane. We've seen so many games that are like 3v3, 4v4, 5v5 in the bottom lane. But this game was all 2v2. And then the Aphelios Lulu was able to take a 2v2 victory this hard.
Yeah.
Until, of course, we did have the TF coming bot and the rest of that. But even before the intrusion by the other players, it was still Guma and Keria dominating the lane. And Like I said, I think a lot of it is the preparation for the Lucian Nami.
Absolutely. I also think that Lulu into Lucian has been a great response we've seen several times so far this season, even by weaker teams to usually less strong effect, but to a decent effect, right? And the laning phase with the Glitter Lance, the pressure that Gumayusi puts on with his trading with his Calibrum early on in the lane in those very first few levels, he just played it out so well. He prepped himself for success, knowing that Peanut will make no impact pre-6.
Okay, so they just went ahead and traded objectives there.
And unfortunately, Scar hasn't been able to do anything, as here comes a dive.
Yeah, T1's made it clear they don't really care about the dragons early.
Everybody
Yeah.
from T1 is top. Every single player. And now, Faker's just going to TP bot to make sure they don't lose too much, but they will also get the first turret blood in the top lane. And this is with the second Rift Herald, so they're going to push in more.
Can
So
they
he
mute
has to
Lulu,
TP to
please?
the
Thank
top
you.
side. He can't even get value in the opposite lane, as the Gwen Needles will be stolen here. And the charge will come in, but it's still another
Shut the
win
fuck up,
for
Lulu.
T1.
Let's not forget, Genji's Rift Herald was denied by T1. So even though it was a Herald for a Herald, in terms of picked up Heralds here, and the second one went to T1, so no plates.
The guys
Genji
probably
ended up
sound
getting
really
way
cool
down
in
on the
Japanese
exchange.
or Korea, whatever.
Not only that,
Korean.
but Twisted Fate
But the
was
girls
allowed
are
to
knowing
actually
spot.
push mid as well for free during
You
all
haven't
of
heard
this
Ari.
because he was able to teleport all the way to grab extra value. So being
Release.
ahead on the play here for T1 macro-wise means Chobi has to respond.
Okay,
expend his teleport,
there's
and then
there's a
get
difference,
nothing
okay?
out of
Those
it,
are
in fact,
those
and
are
won't be able to
sexy
defend the
women,
charge,
okay?
won't be able to defend the turret. As T1
The other
has
ones are
had
just
such a
women.
good
At least
read
the sexy dude.
on this new dive.
No,
meta.
the
Like, we
voice.
saw it earlier this week. 5-man bottom side,
Spiders
right?
now.
And now we're seeing T1
Yeah,
try to do it
that's
in
what I
both
said.
sides. Yeah, we saw it yesterday.
Let me
And, like,
caress that
T1's
carrot.
not doing it on bottom, they're doing it on top.
They
have
do be
Twisted Fate,
getting
they can
the
return
dump
lane
truck, you
quickly.
know what I'm saying?
And this is the team that is built their entire legacy this year on smart cross-map plays and good macro. You give them an edge like this, and they're going to take more.
Yeah.
This Hex Tech Soul, Genji have a 2 Drake lead. That's the one thing that's in their corner right now.
Yeah. I am simultaneously flabbergasted, but also not surprised in the slightest
Yeah.
that this is happening. I'm like, yeah, I mean, of course. It's almost like T1 were, I don't want to say purposefully hinting, because they definitely were not, but it's almost like they were trying to hide everything until the Genji match. And then they're like, okay, now we've got we're gonna pull out all the cards.
At this point in the
TF
game,
Nocturne's coming out.
Genji's
We've got an
about
answer
4K
for
gold
Lucian Nami.
down.
We don't need to show this to KT, DRX, Dom, on anyone else. We'll just wait for Genji. And,
4K
here
gold
it is.
down.
Well, it's like
And
so much sense
they
as
lost their
goes
top
for this
tower, almost
full
lost
point
top
area
tier
coming
2.
down.
We got Owner in as well, as you can see a ton of damage.
And
goes
Fire
down on
just
Faker,
inted.
though. Incredible
Or
free
Fire's
back.
getting
I think
dove.
He was not expecting that amount of damage. Still has the stun
Fucking
watch.
Fire.
Yeah, and
Could have used it, but did not expect
Baker
to die.
running it,
Toby
dude.
is pushing top here, so you know, if unfortunately this turret is not very low or anything.
So
that's
right
not
now
a
it's
bad turret that
looking-
he'll pick up here, but he will crash this
it's looking
lead,
really
so
difficult for
nice
Genji.
CS, from the side of
So,
T1, it's a trade back. So
I
Look at the Scarter build, Dan.
Yeah. That's old.
I was just saying
Think.
that.
Old
So,
physics.
Skarner and Nami are most likely up here so that Chovy can try to get this tower as low
Yeah,
as
they're
possible.
cross-mapping.
Yeah. While putting vision down. So it looks like they're God, that's a lot of fucking... Oh, Zombie Ward. Never mind. Between these two. So they have really good vision set up.
The
Inside
thing
top
is
and
they
bot.
really didn't have much vision until T1 made a play,
Yeah.
and then on the opposite side of the map, they're just covering it as much as they can.
Yeah,
Which is something we should try to do more often.
I agree.
Less panic rotating and more advantage taking.
Yep, I definitely agree.
I've arguably here.
So right now, Genji's just trying to get whatever they
With the tempo
can
lead that it still helps T1
so that they
facilitate
don't
is
fall
very
too far
nice here.
behind.
Chovy will get the
Or,
entire turret.
I don't wanna say
T1
too
are not
far.
interested
As long as they don't
in,
fall- so they
splitting
don't
up
fall
and
further
doing traditional
behind.
laning this game. And T1's dives in these 5-mans, 4-man bot, the dive top side, the 5-man we saw there, almost feels like you said, you're both flabbergasted by it, but it also makes sense. It's like the discovery of gravity. You're like, wow, that's both so incredible, but also, how did nobody see this before? Because so much of this meta is... Okay, we're going to watch Faker's first-person view here.
This is Doran's actually.
Or Doran's actually, yep. From watching Faker's over the shoulder there, and Doran's
Small.
pissed, but he will trade back the kill.
It's like, oh, well, I killed him. That's kind of his reaction.
Okay, Guma.
Culling does come out. Gale Force available for Ruler, but not necessarily
Owie.
the same impact that we have seen him be able to have in other games.
So much of this meta, Valdez, has been a
It's
Narset
just blurry
topside
enough
game,
to
like,
where
you
I
can't
can't
dive
see the
main, you
color
can't
of
do
that
or
blonde
a
guy's
Torn
hair.
sitting topside, you
So it
can't
just
dive
looked
main,
like he had a
can't do
giant
that.
fucking head.
Sometimes a Sejuani up there. But when it's an Akali, you can do that.
I
You
mean,
can
Mega
dive
Mine
that.
in
You
real
can
life.
force that. And when you have a Nocturne Twisted Fate composition, it's very easy. T1 just getting lots of leads around the map here, snowballing advantages. And yeah, Gen G, they made a cross map happen. Doran picked up a kill here. But the Aphelios is just riding his way to 2 items. He's close now.
That's really the thing, and he's going to be incredibly survivable against pretty much anything except Skarner. So as long as he can avoid Peanut, who did go Predator, by the way, I think that is the right choice. We have seen a lot of phase rush Skarner in recent days. As I'm going to have to hold that thought, as they really do not like this Akali, do they? They just going on in dives and burning down as Doran. Down he will go to the red buff of Owner. And the red smite, no doubt. That's
All
enough,
right.
and that is right.
So that was actually really good by T1, to be honest. I mean, there are 4 down here, towards the top of the bottom river. You had the Gwen pushing bottom in, and yeah, that TF ult. Now I want to know, did the TF ult or just to see where she was, or did they know where she was?
Sure they saw her doing
Oh yeah, right here.
That's really the thing, and
Okay,
he's going
she
to
got.
be incredibly survivable against pretty
Wait,
much
how did
anything
she get pinged out?
Leads around the map here, snowballing.
They see her doing drop
advantages.
and they both
And
pinged her.
yeah, Gen G, they made a cross map happen. Doran picked up a kill here. But the Aphelios is just riding his way to 2 items. He's close now.
That's really
Yeah, but that's the thing.
He's going to be
They don't see her. They saw her disappear right here, and then the pings were on point, but there's no wards there to see. I can't tell if that's a ward right here. No, that's a portal. So they don't have.
Go back before Akali leaves the wave bot lane. Go back again. Go back. Go back one more time. Go back again. Okay. They know Akali picked up a wave, and that's it. So they probably assume that she's going to farm the jungle, that she's not resetting to spend 200 gold.
But
I mean, my question is, what if she did go back? What were the plans then?
And when you have a Nocturne
Nothing.
Take outside to prepare for Dragon.
it's very
Yeah,
easy.
they just get free
T1
vision.
just
for
getting
sure.
yeah,
lots
that's
of
true,
leads
okay.
around the map here, snowballing advantages.
They lose
And
TFR,
yeah,
but
Gen
it doesn't
G,
matter because Dragon
they
should
made
be
a
spawning
cross
soon,
map
I think.
happen.
So
Doran picked up
as
a
long as
kill
they
here.
get all the
But the
vision down and
Aphelios is just
they have prio,
riding his way to 2
it's really hard to
items.
push into Aphelios.
Close now.
That's really the thing, and he's going to be incredibly survivable against pretty much anything except Skarner. So as long as he can avoid Peanut, who did go Predator, by the way, I think that is the right choice. We have seen a lot of phase rush Skarner in recent days. As I'm going to have to hold that thought, as they really do not like this Akali, do they? They just going on in dives and burning down as Doran. Down he will go to the red buff of Owner. And the red smite, no doubt, as that is enough.
They
and
wanted
that is
this
right
dragon
before
because
the
it was their
Hextech
third,
raid.
and they had opportunity of taking control of it, and they had an educated guess that somebody was farming their bot side alone. Or somebody was farming the bot jungle.
They try to force it.
Toby's trying to go 1v1 here. Needles going both ways, but guess who's got the better Needles? It's not Silas in this case, but Peanut is coming on in, chilling spot
I'll play
onto
button.
Zaze, turns around, and it looks like T1 are just going to leave him to
But
die.
they should be able to sack
So-
up for the Drake.
So okay, I was gonna bring that up. So they knew they couldn't go for Dragon, and Gwen was, I guess you could say, overextended. Yeah. So they went ahead and went for that play. Really good. That's
Mr. Chobi baited the shiznick out of her.
That's a really good example of giving something up but taking something else. Obviously, that situation doesn't present itself all the time, but being able to identify that, hey, we can just take this instead. And I mean, they're not really losing anything for taking that, or they're actually, I'm pretty sure they're gaining. It's a net positive for Gen G taking that kill over losing the dragon.
Well, they just lost the Kali before it happened too.
Right, but Akali's worth like nothing right now.
I think once Akali died, they should have like what are their options once Akali died? Like they can't fight for the dragon. So like could they have gone and done something topside? Probably not. It would have been too late. And by the time they tried to do it, they were probably dragon's already dead and they're probably pressuring towers. So they probably didn't have anything they could actually do.
Hmm. Yeah,
So they were just standing there waiting for a mistake.
and they found it. Which is one thing I definitely think that we should definitely be looking more for. I know we do it, but looking for more is when we are given up an objective, like not really passively but actively beforehand. Like as soon as the call is made, it's like, hey, we can't do this. Actively looking for something else. Like I said, I know we do it. I think we just need to do it more controlled.
Objective successful here for T1. Deny Soul Point. Obviously would have liked to win out better on that trade and or have your win survive. But you still end up walking away with the Drake. Genji
I think
pick
it's
up
a pretty good
little bit
example
gold in
of
their pockets here. But Genji will need to do more.
I mean,
than
obviously
defensive
the
trading
like
or
the
kills in a side lane to
chances
win this game. They
of
will
it
have to, at
happening
some
is
point,
very
win a
small,
5v5
but like
fight.
sometimes
And everything we
can't
talked
really
about
do
with the
anything
Twisted Fate
Yeah.
versus
in a
the
situation that,
Lucian with the
I think-
Nocturne dive capabilities.
I mean,
will
everybody
come
thinks
through
like there's
here
always
when
something
we
you
get
can do.
longer later on into this game.
But I
He's already
guess, I
been
mean,
very
I mean,
successful
if I think
driving the back
thinking
line.
about it,
But how
the only thing I
Lucian
think
ever
of
be able
them
to
doing
trade
is
or
looking for a
actually
mistake
set up
or
for
a
neutral
pick. That's all they could really
objectives
do.
in a 5v5 scenario when you could do this, when you could
They
be
couldn't
this
swap
deep,
to go
this
take
far
Baron
into the
because
back line.
Yeah,
Dragon
I-
would have
Burns
been
down
gone
right
by
before
then.
the objective.
and yeah, it takes too long to walk up there from where they are now.
Saves does get caught. I think because Jovi actually does a nice job of
Even
baiting
if they actually did
those
get the
pretty
Baron,
good
they lost
this
tier
time,
1
and the
mid and
stopwatch
tier 2
gets
bot,
away.
guaranteed.
And the stopwatch buys enough time here, and Bale comes through, the rest of the team comes over because they're already trying
Or
to
at least
go for
tier
the-
2
It also
bot.
has
while
a
they
double
were
global,
He
it's a
gets the
double
Bale
TP,
Tricker's
so
like,
it's
well,
not like they
I'm
could
out
actually
here.
take
Going
Barons.
mid. Just not
Yeah.
even interested. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
save you,
what I
man.
mean. Like
Well, we got
it
the
was
Drake,
like
that's what
there
we
really
want.
isn't anything they
Destiny
can do.
comes out, immediately spots Peanut. It's going to be huge. Peanut is already in trouble trying to find angles. As TP behind them, Peanut's still looking for the angle. As the TP from Chovy not going to get much down. They do get the flash out of both Faker and Carrion.
All right, so right now we're looking at a 4v5 standoff.
Trying to K-Ram here as everybody shows up. Everybody's dropping their teleports on the Rift. Chovy in the side lane, though, is the only one outside of this, so getting a little bit of value himself personally. This is what Chovy does, man. He never gives up a CS. Will Destiny gate his way over to grab that Gromp. Never give up a Gromp.
He has a Chovy
Toby said,
level of
good
now,
luck,
and
guys. There's a wave over here.
Silas is going to be fed, regardless of basically not doing much in the game outside of farming, so that's basically the Chovy effect. Faker obviously has made many more map plays and helped out his team a lot more.
Oh, that hurt.
Faker has generated global gold for his team, whereas Chovy has been able to at least get some items online here. He has a very early Zonias with all that extra money he has, and he's hoping so desperately his team is going to give him a
Kobe
5v5
is
team
actually
fight where he
level
can finally
15.
get on top of that, Aphelios. Get at him, you know, and actually do his job here.
He's out leveling a
It's
top
also a
laner.
Silas into Twisted Fate where
Look
there
at his
aren't
CS,
a ton
he's
of other
fucking
great
rich.
ultimates he can use to steal to initiate the fight.
Guys, actually
We
printing
watched this game
CS.
one more
That's what
time.
we missed, actually. I think we missed that.
Yeah.
Just
270 at
forcing the
23.
flash and the cleanse out of Ruler. Doran nearby here in the side
That's
brush.
actually just nuts, isn't it?
Just being a little bit cheeky, not gonna go all in.
He's fallen so far.
It's only
behind
Faker
that
he's wading into.
A college counter pick.
Yeah, how hard can it be?
I mean, he stopped looking at Faker at like 15, like not even 15 minutes.
And stuff like that just yet, but we are getting
I don't
closer
think
to
he ever
those
looked at
potential
Faker, he
breaking
just looked at
points
the CS.
as he is going double mask here.
Also, Silas
Yeah.
is a hard counter
Kind of
to TF.
interesting, you know, we haven't seen this V1 in
Thing is, he's not even
especially
trying
at
to
this
fight the
level,
TF the whole
right,
time.
between Zayas
Yeah,
and
it's just the
Doran.
threat. Like, he can't.
One has seen
Faker
so
can't
much
overstep,
play,
or he
and it's been
loses
kind of developed
really
so
hard.
many times. As T1, they're going to interrupt me. They really do hate this Akali. They do not want to see this one again.
But, like, he's
as
using
trying to
the
create a
counter
perfect
for
storm,
free
but
farm.
fears it's a bit too much. Gets killed mid ultimate. Not
Force
able
of
to do
nature.
anything.
Force of nature on owner.
It's like that.
He's
Every
just
time
not
Faker
going to even take
steps at him,
damage
he
in
like
this
he
exchange.
fake pumps his chest at him,
Given
and
the
he keeps
kills,
farming.
3-0 and 2. He's got Strikebreaker.
He just stands like a gorilla
One way to
does.
Make sure that the Akali never wins side lane is just to kill her repeatedly.
Uma has flash and Gale Force. So he's
Dude, they need
still
to
trying-
update the sweeper.
And
That
you-
thing is so delayed. By the time I
Because-
just showed Aphelios on that sweeper, he was actually a flash
Tier 2
distance
boots,
away.
Yeah,
it's
It's
really
delayed on
fast.
purpose.
he was not really
So
in a whole lot of
annoying.
danger there. T1 50 seconds until this Drake.
Ooh, Gravitum comes in. Guma's got the speed up. And he's just threatening it. Doesn't even have to.
It's weird
press
how
the buttons.
Aphelios can root you
It's
without
making
the
life
auto being on
difficult
you
for
yet.
Ruler, who's going to come over here and take the red buff, but it's not easy pickings for him. He's not the one being
You actually don't get
aggressive,
rooted
looking
till the
for
auto gets there
1v2s
though.
anymore.
You can click it
I'd like to
beforehand, but
see
you won't get rooted till it
Ren ultimate
reaches, then you'll
stolen.
insta root.
I say that, and now Guma's just
That's what
going
you
to
get for
die.
Gale
Oh,
forcing
hey,
at
up
him
to
Aphelios
Flash.
when you know you're not
Yeah,
going to
Alex
kill
not
him.
the flash there, and Genji are faster grouped
Loser.
up for the Drake now, plus the 80 carry as Dedo was going to say, going to this fight, I'd like to see the Gwen ultimate stolen, just so that we could see
Say
the
it, Dan.
power of the
Stupid
Silas
Guma!
AP that he has here. Put on
He's
display with
useless.
motion damage. Doesn't matter anymore. Now he's just going to take
if
the
he had any
Nocturne
other gun,
ultimately,
it would have
can
been
turn the
good, but he
lights
had
off here,
white.
can turn to rush towards Baron to prevent any sort of trading. Gumi's
So,
not up for
they
good
got the pick
teams.
on ADC,
T1 would
they
love
go for
to
drag,
trade
easy
this
stuff.
second Drake or third Drake for Genji here
Stuff
for
we already
Baron.
do.
Well, they're not going to get that chance. They don't have the damage without the
This time
Aphelios.
T1 doesn't punish though.
And with the
Yeah.
Nocturne stolen here for
Just
Chovy, he
lose.
can collapse on them so fast. Turn the lights off, and
This is what the excessive side laning will also get you outside of gold. It is
Look
the
at
level
the to
16
show up.
for Chovy.
Practice is already
He's
over.
paranoid
We lost the
because
3
why
block
not?
because
the
you
side
weren't
deck
here.
is super fast is
Yep.
what you're getting at here. He's got a Banshee's Veil now.
He has gone for this kind
First
of
had to play
tanky
top.
utility builds that we have seen. And it just
Joey
means
went
that
top, I went
the
mid.
Silas is going to
I
be
carried his ass.
insanely
Alright, way to blow. Way to blow.
Very difficult to heal for.
Alright, so obviously now the look is at Baron.
Doesn't have cleanse
What the
this game.
fuck? Why is it doing
Because
this? There we go.
He took the heal and the ignite with Keria so that he could actually end up winning out the 2v2 there. And you know, you're not normally afraid of anything. You can't.
Her
cleanse
gold
the
lead
Skarner,
is
stuff
on
like
a
that. But
Force of Nature Nocturne.
you're going to feel a little bit worried when the build comes through with Everfrost and the gap close.
So they're
that
like,
Chovy
they don't
has
actually
here
have a gold
on
lead.
this Silas is a little bit of a greedy positioning there. Farming in mid for Guma does get punished moments ago, which leads to Genji taking Soul Point. This really changes.
I don't
the
know. It's
equation
really
here
Nocturne's
in
tanky
terms
as
of what
fuck
this
into their team.
draft is capable of later on. Yeah, some side laning problems. Doran's 1 and 4. Silas not going for a damage.
They do a
build,
lot of
Lucian
magic
fairly
damage.
low range.
As I say, right now I
Nocturne
just think
and
Nocturne's
Twisted Fate.
straight
But you can play it
utility.
differently if every single time you hit somebody, you get that chained slow.
Faker has
onto
a lot of
someone. You can
damage.
Play the game a lot slower.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to literally all in someone as the Lucian.
And they're always
anymore.
hitting the same person.
It is very true. T1 here just hanging together.
TF is
now
getting
that there
fat
no
buffs next
objective.
patch.
They have their Aphelios up, and I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't really tried
Gaining
to angle
30%
over
AP
towards the
ratio
Baron
in his
and
W,
even
as
try to
blue
use
card.
some of that side laning that they have. The ability
Shut up,
to
Dan.
steal a lot of those worlds,
Huh?
those global ultimates.
Shut
I
up,
should
Dan.
say,
Why?
from Chovy, from that Silas, could be
You're not
part
the
of
one that's gonna
reason.
get blue
Don't wanna
carded.
caught in the side lane
They die from it. It's
as
me.
ATF.
Yeah,
But-
especially because Zeus has teleport.
I can play as support.
I actually agree with you that there could have been some posturing around at least vision control here. As Faker
My man's
was-
at
his destiny gave him spot the
326
entire enemy team.
CS
He's
at
going to go
28
ahead and use it
minutes.
Towards top side here. Arnold will take the Spire away.
Yeah, if he
So
does
they're
this.
able to see, okay, well, Peanut's nearby here.
Not true.
Just going to look the side lane instead of actually forcing a fight. Felios on 2 items, 2.5, I guess.
I can
should
play
say
TF
here.
support. We pair it with Caitlyn, you get your
tense
trap
moment.
guaranteed.
Until this Drake spawns, because yes, you can posture around Baron, but winning a team fight here is very difficult for the one who decides to actually call said team fight.
I'll ult for
So
vision.
both teams are kind of slowly posturing on vision, but not really heavily committing. Because a lost fight here just swings the momentum into the winning team's favor so hard before that soul point comes up. Or rather, before the soul fight comes up, because Genji is on soul point.
I think I'm just like
Oh, the
forever
calling is
over.
just gigantic
maxing
into
W
carry.
on
Of course, the
Silas.
Lulu not very tanky. And now 3 items finished for Ruler, who has got his IE up. And as I say that, so does Guma. Just purchases it right now. It's very important timings before we have the next big fight.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ruler, taking
It's literally
away
only
Carria's
better
health bar
if you're
here without
skirmishing
an actual
and
objective
you
to
don't
fight
have
over at
CC
the
between you and your
moment. Really
jungler.
unfortunate. Still can't start Baron at this stage. Unsuccessful at getting this turret, but you can see the damage is real. This is the power of Lucian. Once that IE is hit, he's got rapid fire cannon. as
So
well.
right now I really want to pay
So
attention
far
to
away.
the fight over vision.
This is such a tense game. It is on a knife's edge.
Yeah. You see that T1 are looking for picks here, but Banshee's Veil available on Chovy. Not even sure if you would want to go for him, as he is kind of a tank. He's got a lot of resistances, a lot of health in this one. It's going to be mostly up to Guma outside of the Gwen in these fights to do the majority of the damage.
Got the Everfrost out. Banshee's Veil gone too. So his cooldown's going to come up right before this fight, but still nice attempt there
Helios
from
is thick
T1.
too.
Maybe get something bigger. And Genji
Yeah,
so
Bloodthirster
desperately
is
want to
looking
force
nutty.
this turret down so they can actually try to control this choke point around Raptor Camp. But
He's huge.
they don't have the range to hit this turret. They don't have waves. T1's wave
I
clear is
love
so
critting
good.
with the red gun. It's so
With this Gwen
satisfying.
here,
Yeah.
can't actually siege it up.
Their highest range is Lucian, so outside of that and culling and abilities, they don't really have much to actually shell the turret. So a ton of posturing, a lot of K-ramming, a lot of denying vision. Right now, Genji in a much better position in terms of that vision.
It's really important to note that because it's Soul Point, Genji, you know,
Oh, Torrent again, they're trying to get on top of him, but this time he has a stopwatch.
but they
Ooh,
are
Fire
able
got
to break
smart.
it and get the Nami ult. This is a massive trade up for T1.
They also get the paranoia out of Toby.
Yeah.
And I believe Owner used his
They
as
call
well.
him
Either way,
Toby?
Peanut looking to come in from the side. Nice low onto multiple. But Glitterlance has been his bane in this game.
So
He hates that
another
ability.
thing, look at how they're
Trying to frontline,
spacing,
that's gonna be
right?
another steal.
Look at how neither
From
team's really
Toby.
pulling the trigger just
The team
yet.
fight set up here for Genji.
They're
Torrent
trying to
on
bait
a flank.
cooldowns.
Yeah,
Bakery
yeah. So I was gonna
cooldown
say they're
extremely low.
like
Mullen
this
comes
right
down
here.
again, the pull onto the Gwen. They're trying to 100 to 0 him, and they do. Peanut gonna get the stun on Takuma as well. As he was trying to frontline and follow up the
Seems to
damage,
get
but
really
he
bad
couldn't.
items.
He's
Oh.
going down too. Genji
He
get a
probably
couple,
should have went
and they will
downwards
pick
so he
up
got
the
healing, no?
Hextexel.
And they will pick up Baron alongside of it very likely here. There's just no way for T1 to contest this. 35 seconds on Guma. Chovy's going to take down the mid turret, and they can just rush right for it. Carry and Owner
It's a
gonna
crazy
come over
swing.
here, see what they can see, but there is no good news for the T1
That
fans
fight
right
was-
now in this game.
was
Genji
literally what
now
Genji
can
needed.
Slow every single member as they're going to look for a miracle steal. Wild growth,
Wow.
not up.
There's flash available. They just need to put down a ward at the exact right time. Looks like they don't have a
They
ward.
should
Aria's
replay that
trying to
fight.
Get in there.
So,
They spot Owner.
I kind of want to see
The same happening. Owner's just gonna have to run away.
during that dance what
Not
made them
sure if
pull
he
the
even
trigger. I'm
gets
pretty
out.
sure
He's
it's just the
got
fact
Baker
that
in mid, so maybe,
Skarner
but
was really
still
close to
is
pulling
bad.
someone.
And
Yeah.
Hextech sold for
Genji also had a
Got
window
way too
on.
close.
Exodia, but
Genji also had a
turn this
window
game
because of
around
Helios's
for sure.
guns were really, really bad right there.
Get caught here.
It was his
Let's
worst
try to
combination.
spell
So he was a really
Who gets the
basically
kill?
there was
Gonna
like
be Ruler,
think of it like
of
Mega Gnar. There was
course.
no
They'll
Mega.
give that one over
Yeah.
the door,
Or
and he's gonna pick
Helios.
that up, put that extra money in his pocket. Already has 3 items.
It was his
Gonna be
weakest
building for
possible
an insta-buy,
scenario.
actually, of the Soreldas there.
See, watch as soon as blue runs out,
Oh, yeah,
he's
I'm
gonna
gonna
push the purple.
put it in a slower playback speed so we can really watch it.
So much.
I mean, I'm sure they're going for like the Lucian R and everything anyway, but when he loses blue, he becomes really weak here.
Well, the only question I have is why did Lucian decide to R right there?
Because he's gonna poke one out of the fight. See how there's nowhere for Owner to dodge when he comes up here. So he's just ulting straight up to just chunk Owner out of this fight. So now Owner can't come to the drag fight.
I'm wondering if Owner decided to walk up here and throw a Q at Chovy to pop that shield,
Yeah, most likely.
and then Ruler.
Yeah,
Okay,
Owner,
yeah.
his positioning was not good. And then Zeus tried to counter the, like, engage from the Lucian with his R, and then he just got snagged by Peanut. He tried to counter the pressure and then just got yoinked. He died for Owner's sins.
And that was really good targeting on Genji too. They all just targeted the Skarner ult. Yeah, no, that was really good.
Whoever gets CC'd shall die.
Pretty much.
After run at you, but when she's just immediately removed, it doesn't matter. Calls out Gwen, pulling Gwen, and they just turn on her. She's CC chained together, and then he just calls Aphelios.
Lucian R was really good for splitting the fight in half. And then they would basically 5v1.
But we're gonna take Drake right after this, and he
go
just
Baron.
walks away before they even kill him, because he knows.
And
like,
most of that
take Drake,
probably
go
happened
Baron.
because of where T1 came into the river.
Like I said, it's
Mhm.
not
Instead
like
of coming
Exodia,
through
but
the
you
actual
do have
lane, they went
Yeah.
through that little entrance.
They went through the choke
They don't
point.
really have siege
Yep,
without
and that made it
these,
really easy for Lucian
these
to R
five
right there.
buffs. So
Look, it's
they're
Megamind.
very
Carry as
happy with
Megamind.
this, trying to throw out some nice buildings, try to get T1 off the turret. to not be able to wave clear as they have before.
Look at that, just aggressively dashing forward here as Ruler.
this should be
He has
really
Gale
strong.
That's all
Force,
Lucian's
as
good
Pelican
for.
mentioned, has level
Yeah,
16 on his
What, his
calling.
R? Yeah.
We could do a
He
ton of
just-
He
damage
said,
with
look at
this,
this
and it's on a
Lucian
fairly low
aggressively
cooldown to
dashing
stage.
inwards.
Here comes Ruler again. Insane amounts of poke damage. That is what
That was a good.
the
No,
Lucians
wait,
do, and
that
is
Aphelios'
so
turret
important
actually saved owners
for these
GA.
sieges when they do go for them. So the damage is coming in, not quite
That's purely
able
how
to
this
chip
comp
down
functions. They just push an R.
yet.
Jovi level 18, all that extra side laning, all that extra farm. He hit 16 so fast, now he's maxed out. All of his ability is fully upgraded. Look at how quickly his hijack comes
Does Lucian
back.
have a higher AP ratio than
And he's
AD?
looking for an angle here. If they get a pick, they can win the
I don't
game
think
off
so.
of this Baron. Still 45
The
seconds
Aquila
left
shield's
on it.
bad.
Weak siege, as you mentioned, is using this cannon minion.
Okay, they're gonna move
He gets
mid.
all his
And yeah,
damage
now that
from
they don't have the
attack or
Lucian
from
abilities,
crit.
It's kind of like, well,
If you don't build crit, his
either
R doesn't
bully
do
your
much.
way in or not, as that is going to be the paranoia available. As in goes everybody, the Akali and the Silas, trying to make their way, and that is what they had to do just to get the turret.
Yeah, they couldn't get the inhibitor either. Bottom inhibitor turret still stands here, and T1, very successful defense.
So,
of the Baron, but they
I
have
assume they
really
only
good waves
tried
where
that
they
just
have
to
a
see if they
threat,
can get
and she
anything,
just
to see if they
lead
can
waves, as you can see
end
here.
right there.
Champions.
Yeah, and champions
Almost
as well.
happened there, just randomly.
Well, when you're going that deep as Gen G, is a pretty good chance she's looking for a few snips, and
Yeah. Would love a
T1 does not have very many
on top
tools
of that build that would
to
really
actually
make
team
her
fight.
have
Their
to
comp
discuss some
relies on
damage.
them getting
I
super
think,
far ahead with their globals
well,
mid game.
he's not building it right now, but eventually that might come through as the Void Staff for now still going to be very effective.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Zeus caught again. I don't think there's much that Keria can do. Just delay the inevitable. As no escape for Zeus. He
Doesn't
doesn't
even ult.
have any defensive summoners. And he's just
Dude, this
a bit
game
too
is
far
just
down the
top
lane.
lane
It's
is
a lot
getting
like
picked.
what happened in the bottom river.
Peanut doesn't even have to use Impale. So they can actually look for another pick here. This is not the end of their aggression. They're going to
So
look
much
for
for
an
the
inhibitor.
Gwen. I mean, if the Gwen doesn't exist in the game, then there's so much power lost on the side of T1 as Keria
Oh
is
my
gonna
god.
die. Cullen gets huge value, and now you can go for the dives. Down goes the Aphelios. Gen G gonna pick up game number 1 here. 35 minutes to get it done. They hold strong, and a couple of impales is all they need to get the job done. Gen G.
So yeah, I mean that was a really good example of being behind, being really far behind, and just finding the small things to come back with. Now,
Both top laners were running it.
yeah, I can agree to that. Now this next game was the first game I watched because Gen G's comp looks just like something we would run.
Oh, there's a Nara, that's why.
And here we go.
Nara, Poppy, Ari,
It's
Zeri,
very
Lulu.
neat what you did mention. We've seen Zeri's rule the Rift.
Yeah.
I meant to look through the amount of Zeri POGs. I think it's above 10.
I thought you said you bid for YouTube
I
Premium.
think it's definitely above
I did.
10.
Those aren't my ads.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
predict
sure, whatever.
about 15.
I don't get shit in Korean.
That's actually a pretty conservative estimate. Like, it might
Yeah,
be higher.
we have 10 teams, 1080 carries, so, I mean, it's kind of difficult, but already,
I
just
mean,
with
Lucian
aiming and
should have
Prince,
Bob
I am
Prio this
seeing
time.
6 Zeri POGs from them, including Ruler at a 7th. So 7 with our
Why
top
does-
3
why did
80
Chovy go
carries in
sweeper?
terms of POG points so far. Guma has
Probably to show, probably so that it didn't show where Poppy was starting, since she is starting Raptors. Because if Poppy shows up there, they know she's starting topside. Right now, they have no idea where she's starting. And I guess I think that,
She's not gonna need it.
huh?
I mean, that is really smart. She's not gonna need her reward.
Mm-hmm. I also don't. I think the XP is split, right, between the Ari and Nar for the ward.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, they both benefit out of it. Actually, all three of them benefit out of it.
Yeah. No invade here for Gen G on red side. to stop the Trundle's pathing bottom and mess with his ability to clear and then come down and make an impact. He's
Dan
coming
would
down at level
fucking
2.
cry if
However,
this happened to him.
Look at this. They're baiting them into the fight. This is working out really
I mean,
well
this
for
happens in
T1.
every
They're
game.
trying to get him in. I think this is double flash away from Ruler and Lahans. Nope, he's just not even going to flash.
He knows he can't get out even with it, and the pillar was held by Owner. So
That's
he
the
just
power
decides
of
to,
Trundle,
you know,
baby.
when he realizes with the heal alone he won't
Pillar's
be able to get away,
OP.
he decides not to flash, goes down.
That's the power of one
A lot
camp
of extra
Yanks.
money here into the pockets
Just
of the bottom.
flash into a lane as
3v3
Trundle, then they
players.
flash and
Owner,
you pillar them and
I'm
they
adding
can't
to
get
the list
away.
because this is why we
You
see
say, hey,
one
Bala,
of
you
many
want
reasons
level
why
2
we see
first?
the
I
red
got
side
you.
invade versus the Trundle when you play a lane
Trundle,
like
dude.
this,
I love that
so that he can't
champion.
come
I
down
want him on
and
my
gank
team
you
every
at
game.
level 2 without sacrificing a lot more. By the way, Chovy
Or they just
and
cry.
Peanut undefeated on these champions.
Trundle support coming in.
Kind of
There are a
awkwardly
lot
timed.
of, there's
The
a lot of
champion is
undefeated
disgusting.
champions for these two
It
teams
really
because
is.
they just don't really lose that often.
Pillar is broken.
We did also see undefeated for Guma and Karya, 2-0. They don't play the Lucian Nami as much as Ruin Lahens, but when we have seen it, they have gotten wins on these two picks.
Okay, Peanut's
it to
going
me.
over. Will he
Give it to
flash?
me.
He does.
Oh, he did it.
Absolutely.
He did it.
As he does do it, and guess who's baiting who this time? It's going to be Genji, who've got the bait on. Now, Guma has flash, and he's going to elect to use it, which doesn't help him. So he's going to go down.
Peanut's
It
gonna
does
crack.
mean that Peanut picks up
The
the kill
junglers are fucking
instead
chaos
of any
now.
of the bot laners.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
kind of
I-
awkward because I think it's
Oh,
still
you
the right
fucked
call.
my
You don't
bot
want
lane?
that
Oh,
money
guess
to go
what?
into
I
Ruler's
will fuck
pocket.
your
That
bot
guarantees that Peanut has to get the kill.
Yeah, Poppy
in
straight
order
up
to
3
secure
camp
it.
for that
And
too.
if they try to get greedy and give it over to Ruler, maybe he gets lucky and gets away.
Fast 3 for
But the
that.
problem is that now he's flashless, and Chovy in lane, man. Don't even have to play-by-play that. Yeah,
He's only
career.
11-0.
Yeah, career he is 11-0. He is 5-0, I believe it was
12.1.
this season. So yeah,
It's kind of good.
yeah.
It's all right. Owner's going to be annoying here. Maybe a little bit more than annoying. Doran doesn't seem to have a hop, as he already hopped in the lane.
Fire, what are you
There's
doing?
no way.
Now, Ona also flashed earlier in that exchange, so he won't be able to follow for the kill, but this is still a huge amount of tempo gain
What?
for Zeus here on the top
He-
side.
he
has
hopped in
unsealed
the lane,
spell books, so there's a lot of ways he can get back to lane.
You're not getting away from the Trundle.
Advantage already
Did
is
he
pretty
hop
massive.
away from the orb?
As yep, this is
Yeah.
the level 2.
Yeah, it's like a
Ruler
14
uses it,
second
gets
cooldown.
exhaust from Lahens, uses
Listen,
his
Fire,
heal,
you
and
don't have
he's
to yell
like,
at
man,
me,
he hasn't
dude.
even pillared, I'm not gonna flash. If he just waits for my flash, then he'll pillar me
We're not
anyways,
playing
and I'll
Nara
lose flash
anymore.
and
The
die.
champion is so
Guma's
trash right now.
flash
It'll get
is
buffs in.
better, but his position on the
Listen,
lane is
I may
great.
like
And
it
this
when
is
you
what
talk
Peanut
like
does.
that, but
We
like not
called
in
it
front of everybody,
standard
okay?
earlier in the season because he does it so often. That's why he said Poppy is 70% of its power with the without the Hex Flash. But anyway, he flashes for it to guarantee that it's not Ruler who picks up the kill, so significant, but it means
How
follow-up
come you haven't
games
come
could definitely
annoying
be
me on my
strong.
stream?
It's crazy how this has become
Because
a
I've
big
been traveling
standard
for, like,
jungle
wedding
move when you're
stuff.
looking to put on a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
bot.
yeah,
I wanna
yeah.
see this
I
thing
get
go.
it.
that
I'm not
solo
for it.
queue, I'd probably just get question mark.
So here,
You're important.
here's another macro play that's going on. Azir actually just shoved the wave into Ari. Trundle, since he started top, his tier 2 Krugs are up. He's actually just coming straight down here. Bot lane has the push. This is just a free dragon. They don't have any wards inside Genji's jungle, so I'm not sure how they're really tracking the Poppy. But because Azir can move, I can't really see what the wave is like. I'm pretty sure the wave that was just crashed is very small.
Go back.
They just they have mid and bot prio, so they get to go for the dragon. Even if the Poppy's
Back
here, which
again,
would
you're
be
slow.
just sit there and look at them.
Because he does it so often.
Yeah.
That's why he said Poppy is 70% of its power with the
Trying to see
without
how-
the Hex Flash. But anyway, he flashes for it.
I think it's just
to
one wave
guarantee
that's in
that
mid
it's
lane right
not
now.
Ruler picks up the kill, so significant. But
Bot
if
also
follow-up
cannot
games,
leave
could definitely be
tower because of how big this.
Crazy
Seriously,
Yeah.
a
how
super
this
push.
has
He loses all
become
this.
a pretty standard jungle move.
It's like
when
a
you're
full
looking to
clear
put
for
on
a
a lot of
jungler
pressure
sit right
bot.
there.
I swear, if I did that in solo queue, I'd probably just get question mark pinged and maybe inted against. But that's neither here nor there, as that has been the standard here for Hex Flash junglers. Now, Owner is coming bot again. He's just gonna
Okay, so he just popped the
back
Scryer's
away.
bloom.
Not looking to
what
dive or
Poppy
anything like
was.
that.
tough to
See,
dive at
Swan,
this
you should
point.
be helping Dan with
They probably
every
know that
every
exhaust is
minion.
coming up again very soon. And this time the lane positioning is much safer for Ruler and Lahens.
I'll just go for all the ones I think he's
Trades
gonna
it. He
miss.
took press the attack
Which is all.
instead of the first strike that I was talking about earlier. So you can see in the laning phase here, obviously, still able to trade more aggressively. And it's Zeri, and not Aphelios. So very different matchup.
They just use their bot and mid prio to get vision in the bot area. Pretty much.
The problem with trying to
Absolutely.
take the
There is
ones
one
that you think
player
he's
who can
gonna
take
miss,
first strike,
Dallas,
that is Faker.
is
Yes.
you'd be like, okay, this melee minion's about to die under tower. He's mid lane, I'm bot lane. I'm gonna just take this one, and then it's like Jin W, and it's like, bro, that was my minion.
Owner's flash is coming up in just a few seconds here.
I'm
If he could
always
actually
watching.
stay for like 20
Always
seconds,
watching.
off, but they don't know where Peanut is.
You ever seen
They
so
think
many
better of it.
Jinx are to farm
He
minions
backs
before?
away as Flash is coming back up. Peanut sees him here, or actually, not 100% sure if he did, but either way.
I remember when
he's gonna
MF
now
was
hover around the
popular.
bottom side here,
It's
and we'll
literally
see
just
this ward
the
and clear it up.
alt wave on
Very
cooldown.
exciting game here so far. Like early
Yeah, you
kills
get a
on
free
both
recall that way.
sides of this bottom
You haven't missed
3v3,
anything.
and we just have to call it that.
Bottom
I mean, we have to
3v3.
call it that now. It's just what
It
it
is,
is. It's
yeah.
just the truth.
In a matchup like this, especially with these two junglers, they're both so aggressive this season.
For me, what I'm most excited about now, outside of this 3v3, you know, the bottom side.
Did you guys pick? By the way, when right after while we were talking about the whole Prio thing, did you guys hear what Dan said?
I don't really listen to him. He's too dumb.
They used their lane
Yeah.
Prio to establish vision and river.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah, they
actually go
also
for the
had-
dragon.
They also had numbers. They had 4 people.
Yeah.
So like even if there was somebody in the
is
bush,
how
they
this
can.
fight on Rift Herald
Yes.
goes for Gen G, because T1
Yeah,
have
they did it all just
Emperor's
for vision.
Divide,
They didn't do
they
it
have
just to take the
Subjugate, or they
dragon.
will likely have Subjugate for this.
If this
Owner's a
cat
little
gets
bit further
scared by the
behind
chicken.
Peanut, only level 4 at the moment, just hits 5 on that Scuttle. So if they get Subjugate in time, they'll have that. Horn, and Emperor's Divide. Gen G, on the
Better
other
than cat
hand,
getting
have to be
beat
relying
by
on the
a chicken.
Narbars. Very, very weak at this stage of the game. And obviously, Chovy is a charm or not a charm. He's very binary in this fight. Spirit Rush will help him set those up. But it's a much harder fight for Jinji. So they try
he's a
to
pigeon.
get plates bottom side. Will Gamushi try to pin Ruler
do
down?
know that a whale would kill him,
Jinji's
though.
end up losing
Oh
out
my
on
God,
this.
not
There's a lot of
this.
things that
Ari
go
is a
very well
fox.
here for T1
Yeah,
if
it's a
Jinji
fox and a
opt into
pigeon.
the fight and then lose it handily to those level 6 spikes
She's
here on the
also
side
a
of
woman,
T1.
so
30
she's a
seconds
cat.
to go.
A whale would eat
So
them
this is
both.
the next point of contention we're going to be really focusing our eyes
Yeah,
in
that's
on.
called copium at its finest.
Yeah, just gonna wait and see how both teams will respond to this one. Bottom
catfish
lane,
would eat them both.
very even so far, and I think that is
It's a
a
fox.
win
True.
here for Ruler and Lehens, just considering
It's
that
a
it is
woman.
Zeri. And,
Okay?
Lucian,
It's a
we've
woman
seen what
squad.
Zeri can do when she has her Zeri moment.
It's a
Picks
beast.
up
It's
an
not
IE,
technically a woman,
and then
it's
kind
like
of
a-
gets the game back.
Rise's
Strong
quote says it best.
Not quite the
Your
same
charms
level.
are
Yeah,
impressive,
they have
but I'm not
those
into
moments.
forest creatures.
But item parity still favors those first few team fights,
Yeah, that's
because
good.
he's going to get Gale Force. I know we always have to like spell this out for everyone, but I think there's a lot of
Jesus of Astaya or
Lucian's
something, right?
strong early. That's as deep as it goes. But no, he's strong early when he gets his Gale Force, or if he gets ahead in lane.
Yeah.
But being even like
Nico
this is
couldn't
still
keep it in our
good for
pants.
him for now.
Oh my
As long
gosh.
as Ruler's not getting any extra kills, or is picking
I
up
wouldn't
big
blame her.
team fights and skirmishes that should not be taken here.
Hey,
So
what?
Genji are going to get first rake here, and they're
So
going to give up
trading
the Herald.
objectives.
And I think this is actually a reasonable approach to
I am
this
like
first
completely
first objective
against
fight because
this
they don't want to take it. It's just too hard for the
corrupting
comp to
pot
pull this off.
Doran's ring.
Gumakari are going to
Darksteel
stay bottom
Rush.
side hiding, whether they're there or not. But still going to stay bottom side here. They're going to grab the Krugs, so not really losing any
It's like,
income here.
it's
Then we'll catch
good,
this wave.
right?
So Zeri's not
Until
gonna be able
that
to grab
person
the plate,
completes Lost
and they still
Chapter.
get the Rift Herald. At the cost of a single Cloud Drake.
Well, you say
Well,
that, but actually,
it's
because
all
of this
about,
bottom
I think,
control,
Find out
it's
and
Keeper's
where
verdict.
responsible.
They just say
Yeah,
no.
So
no,
yeah,
no.
but she's
Teleport,
losing
probably
IO at
available
the
here
same
in
time.
Faker.
You're
This
really
is
not gonna
great.
like it. She
I
gets
like
a
that.
tier.
I would
How do
be
you argue
so
with that?
annoyed.
Really?
She's up 10 CS.
I was just gonna
I
say, yeah,
thought
Zeri
Yeah,
just.
but she's up CS, but she
And, I mean,
didn't.
you're
She
going
hasn't had
against
Prio.
4 summoner
This is the only time that
level
she has it.
6 Lucian.
She had
So I
Prio.
suppose,
Faker used
you know,
TP.
Poppy actually just
fair to
gave
play in this case.
Zeri
Didn't I-
Faker got
Yeah.
hit by an Ari combo,
What Chovy does on this
went to
fight.
half health, and still had Prio and
He's
Chovy.
pushing this wave in. He's just going
He
to
TP'd.
straight up without
No,
any
I
help.
saw it. He
Of
had
course,
no the whole time. It was when they invaded for
Yeah,
Vision
Captain
boss
Curse,
fight.
We have to do it to him.
Yeah. I did
Faker's
it
having a
I
hard
mean,
time.
Pride
I mean,
does
he's the
back and
GOAT. Like,
forth,
I had to
but
give him a,
for the most
one-up.
part, it seems like Ari said Pride.
I did it to
Because
Guma
he's a
earlier.
2F.
Like, you know what?
It's
like
like
3 or 4
Guma hasn't
waves,
been able to get
he was
aggressive,
sitting
and
there
then, like,
while she
Warlord
had
just
all 3 items.
gets in there and forces Guma to die.
They've been bouncing back and
Game one.
forth over and over. They're just bouncing the
But,
wave,
yeah,
and one
this
walks
one
away, they
feeling
bounce
a
the wave, the other
lot
one walks
more
away over
even
and over.
Every
in terms of
4
numbers.
waves.
It definitely is. Let's see how much value this Rift Herald is going to get. Big rotation up to the top side, as you can see.
Yeah, but Doran this time is playing Gnar. If he can get this Gnar bar
Poor
up on
Fire.
Vision here,
We all know how fast Ari stacks that
Well,
darks.
that is a tidal wave. Very annoying for him to deal with.
Nah, I don't want to hear this
Hop
one.
can get in here. He's not even going to flash.
I don't want to hear anything about your
That's
0
what they
10
do.
Ari with 20
With 25 Medjai stacks.
25 Medjai stacks.
I don't know why they made the decision to rotate like they just did.
Yeah, that.
The only thing I can think of is they thought that they would be outscaled if the game continued the way it was. No, they don't even get outscaled. Like, what's their decision to make this rotation here?
Go to right like when they make it, Gary. Like when he leaves the fountain. I want to see the game when they do. Okay, he's
Actually,
reset.
here when they're recalling.
Yeah.
So they just randomly swap mid and top and go for a 4-man dive top.
They're
This
gonna
must
use
What's the
Rift.
rift? What's the timer on rift?
5 minutes.
It has time.
It's past. Rift's already
Yeah,
gone.
Yeah, they just took the
Trundle
first
has
rift.
it in his inventory. That's what
Yeah.
he said. The timer to use it.
Yeah, he's got
I guess-
plenty of time.
Let's see how much value this Rift Herald is going to get. Big rotation up to
I
the
mean,
top
this is
side, as you can see.
fine. They're going for Rift Herald play. There's no
It,
neutral up.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's fine, but why would they
Well, that is
send their bot lane top just for this to work?
For numbers. What if they had Ornn and Gnar? Gnar can stop them from diving a tower with Rift Herald. I don't think he can stop it when it's too ranged in a Trundle.
To be honest, I think they just did this because this is easier than doing it to bot lane here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Instead of trying to take an even numbers, or they're just forcing an even number.
Yeah.
Well,
And
either
because
way,
the
it's gonna
other-
be outnumbered because they're gonna have jungler with whoever they're with, right? They're gonna have one more.
Yeah, but this is unstoppable. Whereas
Yeah, that's what I'm
Zeri
saying.
will
This
be
one is
way
like
harder to kill.
Gnar can't do anything about this, so they just get the free take this tower.
Yeah, and plus Jinji's not expecting them to go up here, so they're not going to send anyone up there.
Yes, they're not
Good
prepped
easy
on
play.
this.
We could definitely try doing sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
that's
Maybe it's just a good play because it's not expected. Like, there's not
Yeah.
a reason to
Yeah.
do this, so they don't
Yeah.
expect it. They're just being really proactive here.
tidal wave. Very annoying for him to
And it was
deal with, but
called ahead of time, right?
yeah.
There's
It was
no
definitely
loss.
called
already
ahead.
back.
Lucian,
Like even if
Lucian
Gnar
Nami
survives,
called it.
like even if Gnar survives, there's no loss. Falling
Yeah, I
gets
was
played.
just say Orange just collects all of this.
The biggest threat is they gotta play, and Gnar survived.
The important thing is that they cannot dive the Ornn bot
Yeah.
to like answer.
Yeah, exactly. They can't. Yeah.
Practically trying to get something out of Faker here, who is like.
Pretty sure she claps. I'm sorry, he claps or she stays. But
Now that was gonna be another question.
I don't understand
Why?
he didn't just shuffle her under tower?
Oh, okay. I was about to ask why they just sent bot lane up in the mid, but it's because the Gnar had TP could just catch the bot wave. So it's just
Didn't
it's
Ari,
hella
Ari TP out too to catch the wave.
yeah. So it's hella early rotations, but that's because they were forced to by T1.
Yeah. If nothing else, T1's play just burned 2 TPs.
Yeah.
and Genji, since they don't actually plan on fighting, they just like to scale, are just basically using their TPs so they don't drop waves anywhere.
This is also a good thing to like notice, like of not wasting TPs for selfish reasons or like a random, something just for you. I mean, you gotta take a loss if, like, say you lost half a wave or lost a wave or something like that. Not teleporting for it and having it for this situation would have been really important because Ornn could have just got 2 plates by himself because he has demolished against it.
Do the same thing to Doran a second time.
Yeah.
And just be like, well, we couldn't actually kill you and take all plates top side, so we'll try to do that. Bottom side, Doran will leave. Ruler and the Hens will show
Oh,
up.
maybe that's what they were looking
Here
for,
as
was just
well, and
plates
it's
on
actually
Lucian.
perfect. They might actually be able to deny this.
Well, as a
Doran,
bonus,
we've seen
too.
it so many times.
Yeah.
You know, this is a set play where he comes down and
So they
takes
force
the
RTP to
and
stop the plates from going down as well.
It's the
drop it as a
thing
result.
either.
Yeah, owner's like, well,
He didn't get any plates, they didn't even use Rift Herald.
I'm not gonna drop
They just burned 2 TPs. They went back
They
bot.
Like you
killed
said,
Nar,
it was still a good kill for
pressured,
T1.
forced 2 TPs, and now they're going bot lane.
A lot worse.
If they didn't TP though, they definitely would have Rift Herald and all kinds of stuff to the top lane.
Yeah.
I think they would have made sure that they would have lowered it though. I can't believe they dropped. They didn't need to drop it right there. They could have waited a little longer.
But still a couple of minutes to potentially get that.
The longer they wait, the longer that gives Nar time to be in tower top. They gotta get somebody back top lane soon.
COG didn't have to flash or ult in mid either, so that's actually a pretty big win for him. Okay.
What? Oh no. Is that on purpose? I don't think it was. I think Lulu knocked him back.
One came back. This is actually so good for Genji though. As long as they can.
If they live this,
Yeah.
I mean, they lose tower. They need to take this tower. Or they.
The thing is Nar is just free farming.
As I was saying, T1 needed to get that tower, but Ari forced the fight to keep going.
That actually happened. I cannot believe that actually happened. He pulls it off. Doran's up here alone. He's gonna get.
If they somehow get this tower bot lane, then it's fine.
Nobody's here. Zeus does have teleport, of course, but ended up taking a ton.
Such small damage to that tower.
That all happened because of the blast.
Luckily, it was a 5-plate tower, right? If there were plates, or if it was damaged at all,
Yeah.
that tower was gone.
This blast.
So wait,
Now, this
who
is-
did it?
Zeri hit.
Zeri did it.
Zeri did? Okay. Wait, was it on purpose or was it her cues?
No, that's probably on purpose. But this play is really only possible because they pick these type of champions.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
They have an extremely mobile comp that's really hard to get to early. Trying to kill Ari Lulu Zeri is pretty tough.
And Chovy flashes the follow-up knock-up, which is a last-second.
And they have Poppy R to knock people away.
Try to turn the fight. It's just perfectly handled mechanically. The timing is split seconds as well from Chovy to get there just before Faker because he's Ari, you know, and because T1 are deeper.
Everyone relax, dude. It's just a scuttle.
So Genji can obviously respond first. So just really nice.
Our gained a 20 CS lead off of that and like 4 plates.
They do get it down in the bottom side. That just felt like it was a long time coming, so they are able to pick that one up here, and they do even up the gold with that.
Also, Drake's
Only
There's
our
even
Nar
good.
was like that. I mean,
Fire's eating good.
significant for either team here, in fact.
Yeah, as I say, it was hella worth, especially because no one on Genji died.
Still will get the turret. Zeus is being denied a lot of farm. Knows the lead here Doran has right now. And the lead that Guma has, the lead that Faker has, and Arya has right now, these things are way less significant than Adar, who's actually now going to be able to control side lanes here. And Azeri,
Fire, do you have a
little bit
dog
far
named
behind, isn't going to spike until
Nar
T1
yet?
anyways. So even though right now T1 are only 500 gold behind the game,
What do you think he named his new kid?
Genji at the moment. We'll see
Jax.
Narbar.
taking the second Rift Herald fight because frankly they really don't have to.
What'd you say,
at
Fire?
this point in time. Might cost them a mid turret, might cost Ruler some extra farm as a result. But the bigger risk would be to take
I
a
said we
fight,
don't have any
involve the
bets.
team fight, engage in the power
You have,
split.
you have, you have a kid, don't you? That's a
I'll
pet.
just go fuck myself then.
You're making the right call to
Three
not-
kids.
As you're saying, it's all about those items.
That's enough.
Power spikes right now, T1 are incredibly strong. Genji are doing the right
You get a
thing, avoiding
goldfish.
them. Not worth it to try to fight over this one.
At that point, might
Honestly,
as well
no,
call it
just get a
Nami.
cat. Goldfish is more work than a cat, to be honest.
He's looking to hit level 18 first. That's really what he's all about.
Why did
So,
they just get Rift Herald there?
but it worked out really well for him last game.
I mean, they had the numbers, they had the prio. They pushed the lane into Zeri.
Doesn't have to come from last. Gonna hit level
They didn't have vision really, but they pushed the lane in and just went for it, right?
to take a
Is that what it was?
Rift Herald does favor Genji.
They push the lane in, they don't
We'll see if
actually
Genji
see
is
most of
taking
the
the
members.
second Rift Herald fight because
Yeah, as I say,
frankly,
they
don't
see
have
the Ari,
point in time. Might
they
cost
see the
them
Zeri Lulu.
Ruler some extra farm as a result. But the bigger risk would be to take a fight
Yeah, he's
that's
been
all the
down
team fight, engage,
Huh?
power spike that
Is
Guma
the
is
stream
being on
fuzzy
right now.
pretty deal?
And I think as a result, you're
Yeah, it
you're
is,
making the
but
right
let's
call
just see what's
to not
going on.
fight for this.
So basically they just used the fact that they shoved mid to do this. And
Yeah.
they probably would have ended up 5v5ing if Genji went for it.
They shoved it, didn't see either side laners, and they knew they didn't have.
No, they
TPs.
saw the Ari.
Yeah, they saw her like in river, but like walking up, but she wasn't there.
Well, whenever they saw the Ari, Trundle immediately went to Herald.
Yeah, because they knew they couldn't rotate
Yeah.
to it.
Genji,
Chilling.
yeah, Genji
Twist
don't
free,
have
Rift
the ability
Hero.
to dive him. I think maybe that was owner hoping that maybe they would see Doran try to great.
So right there is just map awareness.
But the real win for T1 with the Herald would be in mid.
Kobe, don't be a dick.
Oh, they attacking. That delayed vision. You gotta be careful.
Bet Chovy has a big ass nose.
Back right away.
I think dropping this mid though makes Ruler's life so much more miserable because he won't have this turret to farm under.
I'm gonna get a picture with Guma and I'm gonna put it on my door so every time Dan comes out of his room he sees it.
Oh, your door on fire.
Oh yeah, this is really smart on T1's part. Just forcing that tower down. They're not even using the rift.
He's gonna whiff on that one, but forces the flash as now the kite back is here once again from Genji. Not going to
Having a really hard time engaging onto this team.
Yeah.
Dude, Ari, Lulu with a fucking Poppy, with a Zuri. This team is really fast.
I mean, Lulu's the easiest to catch out of their team. They're all miserable.
No, it's Nar.
Owner doesn't drop
I don't
it,
think
so they
so.
get this mid turret.
I think it's Nar.
They can't really win. It's like they were like,
Lulu's a
"Okay,
fucking
guys,
cunt.
Depends on what kind of champion you are, because no AD carry is going to try to catch Nara out. They'll definitely try to catch Lulu.
We still have these crucial ultimates. Nami ultimate, Emperor's Divide. Doran's forced to flash here from a really nice shuffle from.
Rather not get the womp stick.
Dodges it really well, but it's still a win for Faker. Grabs that flash, grabs the turret.
but definitely
Well, you did. I mean, you did mention that you flash.
it missed hitting the champions, but you know, still gets the value.
Doran.
Saves.
Ooh. He's gonna get this turret at least. So that's nice.
And right now, Genji, they're just trying to avoid action. Other
Just
than,
cross mapping again.
Weak points like that. Diving
Yeah.
an Ornn if he's definitely alone, which he absolutely was. And so trading
Either team is setting up Dragon, though.
behind an item power spikes is going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, and they will commit the Herald, so this is going to be a trade up for T1 on this enter, or at least that's the idea with this.
Nope, that's not a. It's not a teleport ward there. Stay blue.
Yeah, go on, get.
And yep, charge comes through, but they don't get the turret. Doran is still in control of bottom side. We've seen so much.
They should make a Tony the Tiger in our skin.
Owner of Zeus this game to make sure that Doran
Oh wait, he saw him jump over that wall?
Yeah, he has sweep run.
No, we turned it on afterwards, Gary.
But you know, trades
Dumbass.
Same thing.
Even with a 300 gold lead for Genji, like I said before, game state really favors where Ruler is going because he will hit those item spikes. We don't always, you know, we talk about sometimes how
You're gonna
Zeri
set up to
will
Dragon.
end up being better
Guess that
than
means we
Lucian
don't have to
later
set
on,
up.
But they have so much to peel for him, and Doran's lead means you kind of have guaranteed peel there. You have a Poppy who can shape team fights.
True.
So just
Yes,
trading
are you-
structures for
is this
Genji
you saying,
on
Gary,
a
that we're
compound,
Genji?
Sitting on a Gale Force rapid fire cannon for 2 items here is not where Gucci
I'd have to be
is.
very careful with how I answer that question.
He'd rather have a much bigger lead where he's just running around
Why?
and Genji are ready to group up. They're ready to fight this. They do not have 2 items for Ruler just yet, but they can force them into
Because of what was just said.
their fight to take.
If they don't do it, do we have to do it?
Mountain Soul. pretty huge, for both sides. You wanna make sure
Alright,
that
so
you
Dragon started up, straight up
take it.
5v5,
So everybody's
Dragon
ready,
Dance.
even over individual
They also are 10 times, 1,000 times the players in each role than we are of us.
Alright, so Nami ult's gone.
No chance there is the Thor ultimate is huge actually. Doran able to set
Oh,
the one up.
Faker.
Faker has to go into the stop.
What was that? Oh, what was that?
But it's Zeri with 2 kills.
Figure,
And
the
again,
fuck
this
was that?
very moment is coming through, and guess who's right there to back him up? It's Chovy. Will we see the Penta? Is the only question.
Isn't that a fun and interactive champion?
This very moment has happened officially. The Penta kill for Ruler comes in at 20 minutes into the game.
Denote the time of death of
This man is like on hyper drugs, 2.5
exactly.
items, and he's still auto canceling for no
Er.
reason.
Record the time of death of their team composition, 20 minutes.
Sacrifices himself, goes in for the Emperor's Divide, but he doesn't hit the critical targets. Doran on the Gnar who sets this team fight up. Chovy also in position to peel.
Joe, are you gonna learn Zeri mid?
His way through.
Me? No. Why would I learn Zeri mid?
That AP Zeri mid thing just like discounts
He's already
Zeri.
mid. No, it doesn't exist anymore.
Alright, so
They removed it.
I'm gonna slow down this team fight so that we can watch how, or just pretty much just break it down. the engage, the follow up, and everything.
For sure,
Zuri's
Naruto.
W doesn't do AP anymore, Squan.
AP Zeri is dead, but Zeri mid is still very good. They go in here just because Narbar is expiring, it looks like.
Yeah.
Poppy's over. Nar forces it.
Nar
Chovy
super
gets
forces the
in.
fight.
How did this go so bad
For
for T1?
Faker got hella low and already came over the wall.
Somehow Faker was able to dash out when he's like 100, has like 300 health, standing next to Alusha Nami.
Yeah. So he went
I
into
think this-
stasis. When did he go into stasis? Oh, right here, because
Like,
Poppy,
I'm an idiot. Faker's
Poppy eat him in the wall.
Alusha Nami's his own teammates. I'm an idiot.
So he went to Shurima Shuffle over.
He actually Faker ulted everyone out of the Gumar, the Lucianar.
Wait, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Wait, did they go over his ult? Like vertically?
Did you see? Look at the terrain right there.
Look at what? Go back again. Look at he's going right at them. They're not getting hit in the air.
Who's not getting
Look
hit
at
in
the
the
terrain from the
They
fucking.
weren't getting hit by the Lucian ult.
What's wrong with the
Wait.
terrain?
That was funny. There's an Azir all connected with the.
Oh,
Oh.
the dragon walls, and then there was a pillar on the outside.
There was two pillars, Trundle and Ornn.
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Imagine if there was a fucking Kiana right there, dude. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
That's pretty crazy. How did their team fight fall so
And
hard?
Kuma's like, oh man, I'm just out of this. There's nothing I can do. This is such a great
Okay, are Zuri's just free autoing their team?
Is so well coordinated.
Dude, she's cutting through Ornn.
That's
Yeah.
not worth
The
it.
only damage being taken on Genji's side is their tanks.
He's calling out who to pick repeatedly.
T1's only hitting tanks.
How, what is Ornn's build? He actually was getting cut down.
This is broken Zeri, just so you know. This was before she got super nerfed.
My man's got Iceborne Frozen Heart. Okay, I'm gonna guess he didn't have Frozen Heart finished for that. Okay,
Yeah, doesn't quite have the IE, but
but still,
if that wasn't the Zeri moment, I don't know what is.
that was
Now, with the
Shield Bow, Zeal against Iceborne Gauntlet, and then a shit ton of armor.
This was an overtuned champion.
To pull your ultimates, to pull the trigger on someone. They thought they would have ways
Zeri
to
was
lock
picker
down,
ban in this.
Ooh.
Look at this,
One
Jovi
ego
is
didn't
dancing
ban.
around them,
Wait,
already down.
Faker
Wait.
just did half of
Is
everyone's
this when she was
health by
released?
Get ruler down.
No, this was this past summer. This game was happened this past summer.
6 months ago.
Wait, didn't she come out like
That's
last
like
summer?
4 months.
She went through a roller coaster of buffs and nerfs.
Yeah.
This game, she was strong.
This is actually when what they settled on, and it ended up being super strong. And then before Worlds, they put her back in the dumpster.
I'm pretty sure Zeri came out like beginning of this year.
And he has a wild growth.
I feel like we've been standing on ice.
So I remember we had Jake just spamming the fuck out of it
That's what this game feels like
on
right
Plutus.
I just watched everything
Yeah, it was
fall
broke.
down for T1.
And then they dumpstered it for Worlds, so that it wouldn't just terrorize the Worlds.
Look at this.
All right, I guess we can watch it. I mean, this was mostly set up by Chovy, but
I mean, Chovy actually just half health 4 people by himself here.
This angle.
Fucks up literally everybody. I don't know why we watched this.
exhausted.
This is all Lulu.
Wait,
What the
What
fuck
ball is
happened to Ornn? How did he go that way?
how did he get pulled like that?
That's what I was wondering. Like he was going towards the turret.
Poppy tackle.
Oh, Poppy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I was like, what champion can do that? What the fuck? They didn't got a Darius. I didn't even see it. I mean, I had cojones. I would have been scared to do that. To trundle at the end, I would have been scared.
He had 3 levels on him.
I do that all the time on that champ, where I jump in and I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I could actually do this, but once you're in, you're in. You gotta fight your way out with that champ. Kind of fun. Oh, what a
Holy
fucking...
fuck, that was fast.
Yep, he was ready.
Everybody just went in.
For the Zeri, who has IE, who has a stopwatch.
There's no more macro. This ship's busted.
Game 1 was close, game 2 was not.
Yeah, I mean, look at the money that Keria invests into the ward item as well this game. It's going to be totally irrelevant. It doesn't even matter. 10 kills on this Zeri. And Genji's trying to get that average at 25 minutes. Gold up.
Poppy just face take the whole Lucian arm.
Actually didn't care.
Forward, almost looking like he's
Lucian has no damage.
There's only 2 ranged minions, but that might be all they
He's
need.
stuck on rapid.
Doran in the Meganar. They pillar ruler like he cares. He's just gonna move forward and take down more kills. There's another. He's got his ultimate working, and you can see that Faker not even able.
Nah, he should have flashed and got Zuri in.
Ruler is going forward. I don't know about this one. Didn't
Nah, he could have flashed and killed Zuri.
The wild growth. Are they gonna kill them? They finally do. And Tito will take down the Nexus. They kill the Zeri, but it is way too little, too late.
All right. So what do we think of this type of practice night?
I liked it.
Nice little relax, sit back, learn something new. I learned something. I don't know if anyone else learned anything.
I wish everybody was here, but as long as they watch it or whatever on their own time, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna upload it.
The most productive thing for me was that that Rift Herald lane swap.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah.
What do you think, Squan? What are your thoughts on tonight's ordeal?
Squad's perfect. He didn't learn anything.
I saw Kyria executing all the stuff that I taught him. Nice to see that.
Fucking, what are you, Megamind's teacher?
You just they played the Aphelios Lulu. They walked at them, and Ushinami was like, "I don't want none. You can have 2. Let's just be chill."
Wow.
That never happens in mine.
What
I walk at him.
What do you think of this type of practice?
I like the practice. I like.
Is this something you guys would want like
Rarely.
once a week or something?
Oh no.
Or once a month?
Once a month's fine.
At most, yeah.
Okay.
Squads are really like, what, carries a lot of walk at him on Lulu, but when I do it, I get yelled at.
Kyria walks up on Lulu, and they're like, "We don't want none. We back." I walk up on Lulu, and it's 3 people in the bush, 6 summoners blowing up fires like, "Bro, the cannon."
All right, so what we'll do is we'll do this again next month. I don't know when LCK starts, but we'll pull one of their video, or we'll pull one of the Genji's videos, or maybe if there's another one I see, I'll be scanning. Dan and I will be watching a lot of pro play. But no, I think in my opinion this is good because it opens our eyes to different directions macro wise that we could possibly use. Maybe we could try it, learn our own way of doing something that's unexpected to get us a lead. Overall, no, I like it. What do you think, Clue?
Hello.
Asleep.
Not asleep. Just listening. I mean, as long as the team benefits and they agree to it, let's do it. As long as they're learning something from it. I do agree with Dan that it shouldn't be like crazy often, but can be beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So.
All right. Well, that concludes practice for tonight.
I'm pissed off
Why?
because I just spent 90K on an MP5 50 round mag when I just got one as a drop.